What is up, y'all? Man, I figure it's been a while since I've done an update on my four-door tag, and I kind of wanted to talk about the car, kind of what shape it's in, what's happening with it. I know anybody out there that drives an Integra and has had it for a long time, there's a certain kind of bond or just love you have for the car, dependability, reliability, etc. So this car, I've had it now probably 17 years. I think I got it in 2002, had 60,000 miles on it, and I've loved the car, you know, ever since I've had it. I've never really had any major problems with it. Let's go ahead and show you right here where we're getting some sun damage. This is the original paint, and you've got some damage there. The roof, believe it or not, is pretty much lost it down to the clear coat, but it actually looks better now than it did. Sunroof is still working, and no leaks, and so really nothing too crazy. The body's had a few little dings and nicks. Let's talk about as anyone who's got an Integra knows, you might as well, it should come with a handbook and extra handle when you buy the car, as far as I'm concerned. This is probably my third one, so I need to replace that. And one of my buddies actually, some cars, you know, you pull till it clicks, and he pulled until he ripped the handle off. So the way I look at it now, I've got good balance. Since I'm missing one on the other side, now it's a perfect weight, wind reduction, etc. Let's take a look inside. I've actually taken the seats out a few different times and tried to keep them mostly clean. So the seats and everything still look pretty good. I've got your basic crap, gas, and basic stuff you'd have in the car. But the seats look pretty good back here. Now, the front seat, I had a different seat in and it actually broke, so I put the original seat back in it and cleaned them up real good. These seats, in my opinion, are known for breaking. Like, there's a bar right here, and if you can see where my fingers are making an indentation, this bar, even on this seat now, I had a low profile GSR gray seat in it, and this is basically impending death. If I ever get in a wreck or something, it's basically a metal shank of steel. But hey, this seat's pretty old. The floorboard, it's definitely seen a few clutch put, so I've probably changed the clutch 2 times since I've had it. As I'm just going over the car, the left window power regulator has gone out twice. So right now my window, instead of replacing it a 3rd time, I cannot roll the window down. I've got, at this point, 296,303 miles, original motor. 6,303 miles ago, this light started flashing at me. I was driving home and I saw that and I was like, oh shit, because in my opinion, that is like the worst sign you can see. So I parked the car, changed out the oil pressure regulator or whatever, and still didn't help it. And I have 2 cars, and one day my other car was not running good, so I had no choice, because this car wasn't running funny or anything. It's just this light came on, and I drove it anyway, and it drove fine. And believe it or not, that's how I know I've gone 6,303 miles on a red engine light, oil light flashing. So that's that. But it seems to be running okay. Just recently, my little plastic thing finally broke off my clock, so we're showing a little age. The key, of course, as most of you know, when keys get a little older and worn out, I can pull it right out of there. So I gotta be careful with that. The radio I replaced recently has been fine. I did replace this console, so everything looks good. These were actually broken, so that's a replacement. And It rained about every day, January, February, March, and it was cold. So I didn't really wash the car or clean it out as much as I would have liked. So that's what I plan on doing. But overall, the car still looks pretty good. All the lights have gone out on the interior, so I need to take the dash out and replace I put the LED lights in it. But anyway, let's pop the hood. Boom. Alright, now some of you guys have watched my older videos. I've kind of gone through, you know, I've had leaks and different things. Basically, let's talk about one thing I know. This popped off about 4 or 5 years ago, and I did change out the cam seal a while ago. It's been fine. My newest thing is I'm leaking when I start the car. Right in through here, I've got a little leaks, because I've had basically a blown head gasket for a while now. If anyone's watched my other videos, basically, if I park my car for 3 days and don't move it, when I open this, it's still under pressure. About every 3 or 4 days, I have to manually take the antifreeze and put it back into the reservoir, because it does not vacuum it back in. So, but the car still sounds good. I'm hesitant to replace it until it finally blows up. But as far as the engine having a blown head gasket, let's see, my rack and pinion has been gone for a while, but it still drives. So I mean, the AC still works. Let's give it a rev. Like I say, I'm blowing smoke, blue smoke, because my rings and pistons are shot. But overall, I want to try to get to 300,000 on it. But it's still pretty much stock, except for the intake. I did have to replace, basically on the wheels, if anyone's had a tag, I've had to replace, you know, the upper control arms, lower control arms, I'm forgetting the names for everything, but basically everything inside I've replaced on both sides and in the back. So all that's, you know, a few years old, new tires. So it's still a great car. I love it. One of my friends asked me the other day, he said, why would you want to keep a car for 17 years? He's like, I want a new car every couple years. He's like, don't you get tired of the same car? And I almost was like, wow, I never even thought of that. Like, to me, like, the fact that this car runs as good as it does, and it's a great car, it just shows the design, ingenuity, dependability, and just, I mean, Honda really knows what the hell they're doing. And I hope this car lasts me forever, to be honest. It needs some love, yeah, but I mean, I'm proud of my Integra. I'm happy to drive it around. I think it looks just as cool as any modern car today. So anyway, that's my update. I hope everybody's doing awesome, and hopefully this thing will keep running. But if I come into some money, I'd really like to replace the engine and just keep this thing going. All right, guys, peace.